Well, no mai, haere mai, kia ora, and welcome into Rugby Park here in Waitaha, Otatahi, Christchurch, Canterbury, taking on Waikato in the big Farah Palmer Cup final 2020. It is hot and blustery. It is a nor'wester, and it is 26 degrees. It is going to be hot weather-wise, yes, and it's going to be hot on the field because, yes, the best two sides are out there. Waikato at prop Natua, Hopapa Barrett and Kaluna Vale, they are very experienced, have been together since 2018. Gabby Sutherland, Simon Heta, the loose forward trio. Watch them because they will have a very big impact in this match. And Ariana Baylor at halfback. What a story that is. We'll tell you about it in the match. Tenika Willison, Chelsea Alley, and Carla Hohepa at 13, that back three, Flula, Holmes and Robbins Reti. It is a very talented lineup, and James Semple is in charge of them. To the Canterbury side, Pip Love gains her spot back after having surgery on her finger. Rebecca Todd, Amy Rule. Chelsea Bremner, the younger of the sisters, is at 4, Cindy Nellis at 5, and Kendra Coxedge, world-class halfback. Tiro Oriwa Gapa at first 5, Liv McGovern, and Grace Brooker, and the back 3 for Canterbury, Sam Curtis, Grace Steinmetz and Martha Lola here. Blair Baxter in his first Farah Palmer Cup final. It is just perfect conditions, if a little blustery. And I think that surely this Waikato side, who have torn other sides to shreds, had a couple of close games as well. Look how well they won that game against the Manawatu. Clearly they were up 31-0 for most of that match. Manawatu getting their points late in the game, and good wins over Auckland and Counties Manukau during the course of the season. One win in 2019, unbeaten, they come into the final, and oh boy, they have played so well. Stacey Flula has been sensational. What a step she has got in her 26th match. 8 tries for 2020 and 31 in total. Exciting to watch her as well. And Alana Bremner bringing out the Canterbury side. Of course, a very good win in the semi-final, 36-21. It was the best test that they've had. A big win over Tasman the week before, 84-0. And in that first half against Wellington, they dominated and won it from there. So head-to-head, these two sides, 8 times they have met Canterbury with a 6-2 win ratio. Liv McGovern as the two sides now face into the Rugby Park grandstand and get themselves ready for the national anthem of Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of New Zealand, sung by Paris Lola here.
E hoa atu
Oh, just wonderful, wonderful from Paris Lolohea, Martha Lolohea's sister. And oh my goodness, if that didn't get you ready for this big Farah Palmer Cup final 2020, I don't know what will. Stunning rendition. Vania Wolfgram has joined me in the commentary position. We're now going to have the challenge set by the Waikato woman and their haka, Tani Wharo, where they honour the wahine, the protection of their waters. Chelsea Alley, the skipper. Well, the challenge has been set, Vania Wolfgram, and for Waikato, they have to come and play. It is the home of the Canterbury team. They know Rugby Park really well. Waikato, I don't know how many of the players would have played here in the past, but it is a ground you do have to get used to.
I totally agree with you, Leslie, but I think, you know, I get all emotional at a good haka, and that one was no different. They're here to play, they're passionate, they're determined, and I think what will add fire to the belly or just to get them up a little bit is they have left some players at home, they have left their families, so I think they're up for it also.
So Ari Marino has brought the ball out, the 6-year-old, and our match officials, the best in the business, Rebecca Marnie, with the whistle, Lauren Jenner, Maggie Cogger-Orr, and our TMO today is Lee Jeffrey. And it will be to the number 10 for Waikato, Tenika Willison, to start off proceedings in the big final. Gorgeous conditions. If a little blustery, the ball, we'll watch it to see what influence this nor'wester wind has. And Bex Marnie says, let's get going. Good crowd in. And very precise. Will it go the 10? Will it go the 10? Cindy Nellis grabs it, the big lock for Canterbury, and down to the deck. Coxedge says, let's get down the other end, and it takes a bounce, almost like an off spinner, and goes into the sideline. Will be Waikato's throw.
Well, look at that, Cindy Nellis right in there. She didn't take a chance of it bouncing, and look at the position that they're in to attack.
Ricky Snell sideline. What are those conditions down at groundside?
Well, Leslie, that wind we talked about earlier has dropped right away, and Canterbury would have had it behind them, but it doesn't look like it'll be too much of a factor at the moment. Nice set piece early here for Waikato.
Yes, indeed, making good progress up the middle of the field. Very fluent backline, very good handling still. Alley gets the ball away, gets an early touch as well, which is always important, especially in a final where the heart beats just a little bit quicker. And big collision at the breakdown. And penalty. Not rolling.
You see Lucy Anderson just get up at the bottom of that ruck there, whether she was, yep, not rolling away. But a transition from a centre to a number 8. She was superb last week, playing her 50th match. She'll be gunning for a big game today for her crew.
Yes, as all the players will be, as we have another look at that.
Numbers, ladies. 4.
Right on halfway we are now. Straight down the middle, an efficient line-out win by the Waikato as they come away now, and a little show and go as well as she's shunted back. Kennedy Simon is able to get rid of the ball and hard to bring down. As I mentioned, good crowd in. And that
No advantage, ladies.
2 in a row against Canterbury. Just a little eager.
Thank you.
Oh, have a look at this one.
Back line too early at the line out.
Great crowd in,
Absolutely.
Leslie, and you'll hear there's a good contingent have come down from the Waikato, and they are absolutely making themselves heard as well. The cowbells have been ringing out. They are outnumbered, but I don't think they're going to be outnumbered in voice.
Oh, I agree. I did hear those cowbells, and I thought, this is good. Well, they'll believe, certainly the Waikato, not only the Waikato players, but the fans, the way, the brand, the style that they've played in Farah Palmer Cup 2020. They have
Give me 2 minutes.
been brutal at times at the breakdown, and that's what you've got to be. Right, again, efficient, and that's what you've got to be. Your set pieces have to be so good as they make some meters, crib a couple. They'll take the ball. Kaluna Varlak, hard to bring down, loses the ball. So playing advantage, and Coxedge opts for the kick. The beauty of having hard and fast grounds. We talked about it last week in the semi-final, didn't we? Although we have had a bit of rain in Christchurch this week. The ground is hard and fast and well grassed. The ball will bounce around.
Yeah, look, I'm just looking at Tanya Kalunivale and that run. That was her 3rd run, and they were nursing her and monitoring her just making sure that she was okay for this match. So hopefully she is all right. But an excellent play there from the little general. Kendra Coxedge gives them good position right now.
She does indeed. Yes, I think when we saw that possible probables side for the Black Ferns match that Kaluna Valley is not available. Is that right, Ricky, for that match?
Yeah, unavailable due to injury, so obviously they're trying to nurse her through this final as Waikato swing on to attack. Here's Hohepa.
Oh, that's a great little step, but a good tackle as well. Looked after by Steinmetz for Canterbury. And a little knock on as well. At this early stage, we've had just under 5 minutes. And Waikato taking the game to Canterbury. They have played in that southern pool, Canterbury, until last week. Hadn't really had a challenge. But they certainly got one against Auckland, and they'll certainly get one in the final.
Sorry, Leslie, we're just looking at Carla Hohepa there. You can tell she's trying to get on the outsides of her players, to try and set up the next play for her team, and just an unfortunate handling error there from her. She'll be able to rectify that in the next play.
Great view of the 2 front rows. Let's have a wee look at the stability to very experienced front rows. Coxedge hovers around the back, gives it to Gappa, who's playing it first 5, and sprint forward, was it? No, it's been turned over. Has it again twice. Didn't roll out, Canterbury, and they've been pinged again. Yeah, reacting well, Waikato, to whatever Canterbury putting on early.
Shot ball.
Shot, yes, I would too. Chelsea Alley, waiting for the tee to come on.
Yeah, look, that's the 3rd penalty, potentially the 4th there for Canterbury. They wouldn't want to get that up any higher against a good Waikato side. And when you've got players like Chelsea Alley who are able to take that pressure and hopefully be able to turn this into points. Good start for the Waikato team.
I think what we've already seen early too is how good Waikato's set pieces. They've nailed all their line-outs so far going to China. Hohepa, that was a pretty good solid scrum as well. So set piece working early for Waikato. That's where they need to get the parity so they can play at the pace they want to and match Canterbury in that area.
Chelsea Alley, the skipper, can she get early points for her side, running at 62%, but she'll miss with that. A good chance early in the match, though, just to judge this wind and just see if it does take the ball in either direction. Of course, as you mentioned, Ricky, Canterbury, when being told they were going to play left to right, would have expected the gusty nor'wester, which had been getting up to 30 k's, hovering between 19 and 30, had it behind them. And looking into the sun for the Waikato players as well. Now, this is what they're good at, how quickly they're able to get the ball from one side of the field to the other. And she's scragged to the ground now is Chelsea Alley, but they've retained the ball. That's the important part. Under pressure.
No hands, no hands.
At the back now. Pick and go is good. Baylor goes for a little run. What a story that is for Ariana Baylor. The little halfback. 3 knee reconstructions, one on each leg, then another one to follow, and she's come back from it all.
Lost it. You're right now.
And playing some very good rugby as well. They've still kept possession, have Waikato. Important metres just before the halfway. This time it is a penalty for the red and blacks. Chelsea Bremner, the younger of the Bremner sisters, in there trying to wrestle the ball of Tanya Kalunavale.
Well, that's the run that she's been waiting for, and it's great to see Chelsea slightly just put her into a really good gap to get front foot ball, but Chelsea Bremner, too strong over the ball. We do have 2 lots of sisters starting in this both teams, which is great to see, the Bremner sisters and also the Hohepa sisters.
All about the fun now, Lania, isn't it? Absolutely. The culture we've heard about from both sides, what they've been able to build for each other. And they're, unlike Waikato, it hasn't gone to plan for Canterbury.
Not straight, ladies.
Well, that's a couple of times now, Leslie, that Canterbury, they've had some position. They've just been a little bit inaccurate. It's not what we used to see. Line out overthrown. There was a misread earlier on in communication, and it's unusual for them. So Waikato have been able to put some pressure early on. But I would say Canterbury's line speed and defence already a bit of a feature. They've been able to get up on the likes of Kulunavale. Kennedy Simon as well is one they really need to look after, the number 8 for Waikato, not letting her get ahead of steam up. And the line speed of Canterbury in defence has just been able to keep this team, the Dubbies, the Waikato Mulu Dubbies, back on the back foot.
Now, there's some early stats on the bottom left of your screen as well. I wonder too, with the power that they've got out wide, with Stacey Flula and Shael Robbins, really the wingers for Waikato, whether Canterbury are keen to play down the middle a bit rather than go wide. Here's Baylor. Waits for the call, gets it, puts it in. A big yell from the crowd. And again this time, Ali tries to crib a couple of yards. It's efficiently brought out one way, goes the other. But still able to get a couple of metres forward. That's the important part. Scragged again, the tackling Shaw, Lucy Anderson in there. And rolling away pretty quickly is Amy Brawl. It is hot conditions, it's 26 degrees in Christchurch today. And they'll be feeling the heats, these two sides. Still with Waikato, it's been impressive the way they have kept the ball. What a good tackle as well. Coming in from the red and blacks. But importantly for Waikato, they have maintained possession. They might be having the tackles put on them, but they're keeping the ball, and now it goes wide. Oh, and look, yeah, I thought they might have just got away with that, but no.
Well, you talked about it earlier, Ricky, the defence of the Canterbury team, they are coming up off the line really quickly, then smothering everybody in the Waikato team, and both the forwards and the backs. It's really hard to contain it and to get go for it if the defence is right up in your face. And you can see what they're trying to do is Waikato, they're just trying to really get a really good platform so that they could get the ball down there. And just really hard when Canterbury are just in your faces. Yeah,
they were camped on that 22, weren't they, really? There was just nowhere for this Waikato backline to unleash. They use Chelsea Alley a lot as that ball carrier to be able to bring it out of a defensive area, Waikato, but not able to make the meters because the likes of Bremner, Anderson, Nellis are hitting their tackles early.
Very good attacking position for Canterbury and Kendra Coxedge as she delivers now to Gapper, who shows and goes, gets through the first tackle, but is pulled down. They've made a couple of meters. Chelsea Bremner grabs the ball and lays it down for Pip Love to come through and muscle her way through, trying to get that pick and go, which was so effective last year. Lucy Jenkins gets in the way and is pushed out of the way. Anderson, can she offload to Gapper, to Coxedge, to Lola here, who cannot bring it in. Moving the ball quickly, but again, just that accuracy missing at critical times.
You can hear the uproar of the Canterbury supporters here. They just went a miss, but man, going back to Emily Heta and that massive hit she put on, that's what we expect from this loose trio. Big hitters in everything, workhorses. But just the ball went a miss here.
Oh, and batted back to Canterbury, so the turn over time. Anderson grabs a metre or two. Alana Bremner plays half-back at the back. And the instructions are given. And that's forced out of her, spat out. And Ali exits. She's got a great boot on it, Chelsea Ali.
Oh, look, that was great work from Tanya Kalonivale. She was able to just loosen that ball up and get that freed up for her teammate. And really, that was a pressure kick for Chelsea Ali. Well done.
Rebecca Todd with the throw-in. Hooker for Canterbury, keeping it close in the front to McGovern, to Anderson, and has close attention on her from three of those Waikato tacklers. Out wide to Curtis. She's got Bremner ranging around her, and she bumps off one. She's probably the smallest player on the deck, is Sam Curtis, but gets through and makes valuable metres. Takes a lot to pull down Anderson as well. And Coxedge has a little survey of the area around her. Roll gets smacked from the side. Using the pick and go again. And again, Bremner, the skipper having to play halfback, is just shoveled back in to the mess. Love and Amy Rule, the two props, now doing the work. And again, they've spilt it, have Canterbury. And again, the alley boot up high, great metres, bouncing into no man's land. Oh, and that was thrilling because we thought we could have had a runaway try.
That was great defence there from the Waikato team. Really, really impressed with Grace Hopapa-Barrett, just able to just smack one of the girls over into the breakdown as it was, and just really great for Grace to be able to get a look in, be awarded with her just being in the possibles and probables. She's had a great season. Here she is. She's going to pick... Oh, snatched off her.
Oh, she just tried to grab the ball with one hand. And advantage, they've used the kick. And again, that bouncing ball is causing so many of the players a bit of trouble. Great pass across. That's confidence for you. Oh, let's just duck down instead of taking the tackle, but she's well caught up now. And Canterbury pour over the ball. Gapper and a crawl goes up from the crowd. Great hands from Lucy Jenkins. Nellis gets it off to Brooker. She's got Sam Curtis as she goes towards the line. Three tacklers, again's able to duck under one. And some ferocious work at the breakdown from both sides. Nellis tries to go right over the top. Can she stretch? It's short. She's only centimetres away from that try line. And trying to bounce around, and as she held up, oh, that's wonderful defence from Waikato.
Yeah, look, that's Kennedy Simons again. She just, in the plays previous to this, she was really big defender, really big tackler there, and she's just managed to save that with the help of her teammate, Carla Hohepa. This girl has had an outstanding Farah Palmer Cup campaign, but let's give tribute to Gappa, who put that pressure on right from the beginning. Sam Curtis just setting it up nicely.
Well, it's been a feature this season of Waikato's game. They have scrambled really well, and their defence have been miserly all season, but they put each other under a little bit of pressure. Robinson-Essie with the pass to Holmes didn't need to be made. She would have probably been better just to hack it back downfield and chase and back her pace as well. Ash Gabby Sutherland just getting some injury check there. She did have to pass a fitness test a week or two ago to play the semi. So keep an eye on the veteran vice-captain. But yeah, just putting each other under pressure unnecessarily. Perhaps a little bit of that finals. We've only been going 15 minutes, but it's been absolutely frenetic.
Well, I think it's also, they may have got away with it in other matches, and maybe in this match they can't do that, and it's about pushing that pass, isn't it? It's one too many. But I'm sure as the game goes on, Ricky, they will learn from that, and they will play the percentage stuff. But already, as we know, often in finals it becomes very defensive. Waikato last making a final back in 2014.
5 of the players in this team today were part of that as well, including Ariana Baylor, the halfback, who's only 23 now, so she must have been about 16 or 17. Stacey Flula, Tokonatua, China Hohepa, Chelsea Ellie, they were all there as well.
Now, there's a lot of experience, aren't there, from the players that have got New Zealand Sevens experience as well. So they'll know what finals footy's all about. There's no doubt about that.
Let's both let each other
Interesting,
on
you
the
see
bike, ladies.
Toka
Let's continue this
Natua
game.
just on your screen there.
Let's
When
get
she
bines on,
featured
ladies,
early
bike.
on for Waikato, she was a
Happy? Let's
centre.
go.
So she has converted into the front row, and what a magnificent, I don't know if it was a suggestion, but she was named in the Dream Team at the last World Cup. So she's been great. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's got to offer today.
So many great stories, aren't there? And the versatility of these wonderfully skilled rugby players never ceases to amaze me. Great stories in every team about players who can play multiple positions, and amazingly going from the forward pack to the backs or the vice versa. So Coxedge gives Anderson the pat on the back, tries to find Liv McGovern, but she's well wrapped up.
Well done. Stay.
And again, Coxedge offloads, this time trying to find that little punch through that will get her team over the line. Amy Rule takes the ball and tries to place it against the uprights, the padding, and more importantly, secures it, doesn't lose it. And Pip Love now with a big drive towards that white line. It's just millimetres, surely the second foray that Canterbury have had in the last 10 minutes. Now out to McGovern, out wide. Oh, and Sam Curtis drops it dead. No one within Kiwi. Pressure, pressure, pressure.
You got a feel for Sam Curtis there. It's very unlike her to drop the ball so close, but it is finals rugby. Oh, it did come off one of the players, so, you know, credit to her, or just a little bit fair to her. But this is those moments that we talked about earlier. It's finals, critical to a game such as this.
Well, Flula had made the decision to try and come in, and it left Curtis all alone. And here's Sam Curtis now. You've just got to shake that off as quickly as you can.
Actually, I was impressed with her last week, how as a young winger, and probably the slightest on the field, going in at the breakdown often and really muscling up in areas that you didn't expect. So I'm sure mentally she will come back from that. Baylor has it though for Waikato, deep on their defensive left side field in the perfectly groomed rugby park here in Christchurch. Ali. Safely secured over the sideline, and a good game just outside the 22.
It's been really, it's such a real quick, the speed has been really, really fast of this game. 90 minutes in, and I can see there's some tired bodies up there. I think they just need to just be a little bit more patient.
Tired, it's not a surprise with the temperature the way it is. It's more like midsummer, more than spring-like weather. Coxedge finds Cindy Nellis, a rangy Canadian. And a little chip kick over the top, can Brooke agree with it? And great tackle trying to bring her down. Again, just short of that try line. And Pip Love is forced back with the ball. What defence coming on from Waikato, and they earn the penalty.
Absolutely brilliant from Waikato. Their defence is on point. They are making tackles, they are not missing, and they're not giving away penalties. They are being so disciplined, so well connected.
And look at this little girl here. She's putting in the ball for her mate. And look at this tackle. The tackle that came from Stacey Flula, really critical in this piece. Both teams are on fire.
I think that Coxedge kick is credit to Waikato's defence, though, Vania. They were going side to side, and Waikato not missing. She had to try something else. It almost paid off for them.
Now, she'll be reading it, won't she? It's one of the best attributes of Kendra Coxedge's game, is her ability to read, react, and adapt. And this time, Bremner finds it after it was bobbled around by the Waikato players. And Alana Bremner says, give it to me, I'm desperate to have a go at the try line. We've been up here 3 times now, and we've got nothing from it. Nellis Has to rock back and accept the ball. Makes valuable metres though, right near under the sticks. And again, a big shove forward. Look at Kanunavaile in there. Gaffer finds Steinmetz, who dances through one tackle, twists and turns, and again you can just see how close they are to the line. Canterbury, and a little dab, and she loses it forward, Grace Brooker. And Waikato are very happy and clap. They're trying their best, Canterbury, to get points on the board.
You can tell, look at that disappointment on Kendra Cox. They were right there. Our cameraman was right in the greatest place ever, but it was just a slip. Oh.
Time, ladies.
Oh, it's a great little arm, wasn't it? Arm just popped the ball out like a little pimple popping. Oh, those handling errors, 21.5 minutes gone.
Let's go.
But that shows the intensity and the passion from both sides.
Time on.
Well, look at that territory stat in the time of the opposition, 22. Those handling errors, 4 to Canterbury, but 2 of them are dead set tries that they have absolutely bombed, and that is not what we expect from Canterbury. We know that they've been here, they've been in finals before, they've withstood pressure before, but this is a different type. This Waikato team very up for it. Hope those 2 tries don't, or 2 missed opportunities don't come back to haunt them.
Tiny pictures.
Yeah, well said,
Form up.
Ricky, exactly right. And we knew that this Waikato side were up for it. Doesn't matter that they haven't been in a final for 6 years, but this was their opportunity. And they are playing for each other. Their tackles have been sometimes desperate, but absolutely on the money.
Loose head prop.
That's on Tokanatua. I don't know what she did. Really something.
Scrum called. Just stay off of her head. She's pushing you out to create her space. I need you to stay outside. Where's the mark on the 5? No, it's here. Let's go.
Pushing off her head.
No, I'm just looking at her reaction. A slight giggle, so I wonder, we'll see how we go with this next scrum.
Ladies. Crouch. Down. Bind. Sit.
Let's have a look at this one. As the ball goes in, and it's stable and it's out, it's to Cox edge. McGovern does a little twist and turn, almost like a pirouette, with the ball and holding on.
Leave it.
That was great from Tanika Willison, straight over the ball. She knew exactly what she was going to do, her next job.
Hold on.
And we talked about the matchup between Chelsea Alley and Liv McGovern. It will go all day.
Oh, well, 0-0, 24 minutes gone. And Waikato under the pump, but Canterbury unable to take advantage.
Well, this was great work from Tanika Willison. She's a pretty slight, small player, but she got unlocked over that. That is her sevens prowess. Player we probably haven't talked a lot about this season for Waikato, Tanika Willison, but she has been rock solid for them at 10, really versatile as well. Important line out here.
It is indeed, and Bremner gets a little hand to it and spoils it, but it's been secured by Waikato.
Number 5.
And Nellis
Leave it.
hanged again. The penalties must be creeping
Number
up.
5, entry.
So she's not going to let them get away with anything, Rebecca Marniez, quite rightly. So those last 5 penalties conceded, 4 against Canterbury. Yours, Vania.
Numbers. China. 4. 4, ladies.
Well, they've soaked it up, haven't they, Waikato? Impressively
She's right.
soaked up 2 certain
Stay inside
tries. Never say
You're
die,
right. Hold
kept
it.
tackling, trying to pop the ball out, which they did successfully. They want to get this one right, just short of halfway, and they have gone short this time at the front. Baylor offloads. Willison, a little show and go again. Look at that leg drive, and hard to bring down as well. wanting to get it out nice and wide, and just can't hold it. Steinmetz has it. Picked up. Oh, it's a good battle in there, close to you, Ricky.
Well, at the moment, whoever holds onto the ball and secures their possession, the better is going to be the team that's going to come away with this, because how rare is it to see the likes of Carla Hohepa put a ball down like this? Grace Brooker earlier, just a little bit too far in front. You know that both of these backlines absolutely want to have a crack, but they're almost a little bit too over-eager, and I wonder if a little bit at times, Varney, are getting a bit too lateral, that they need someone to try and punch forward and get them on the front foot.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they just need to make sure that the girls are really doing their utmost best at the scrum, that they can't go and waste that kind of energy. And we're looking, this is probably the number of scrums that they've had so far. Really huge, but I think they need to earn the right to go wide. Isn't that the cliche that we've been saying all day, or last week even?
Yeah, absolutely right. 31-10-20, yes, that is the date of the Farah Palmer Cup final here in Christchurch. Nice bit of camera work. And again, Anderson gets a little slap on the backside, gets the ball away eventually. Not the quickest of exits. This time, Chelsea Bremner puts her head down, gallops over a tackle. Good leg drive from her. Kendra Kotsik asking referee Marnie a question. And Pip Love this time. Oh, great yards. What a great ball carrier. Injured finger and all. Nice wide hands. Accepted that from Chelsea Bremner. And up over the 22. And Alice Waits, a nice little soft part. We've hardly talked of Mafalola here, but this is Steinmetz to Curtis to Alana Bremner, who cuts infield, goes diagonal, out to Curtis, and a great tackle on her as well. Wow, and she spills the ball under that immense pressure from Waikato, and Ali again executes a kick, and outstanding clearance too. Wow, look at all that real estate that she has just kicked off.
Well, we look back at this setup. Yeah, just before that pass from Lolo here, it actually came from Cindy Nellis. Just the rugby nurse to get that ball away, but Lana Bremner, I wondered whether that was a double movement. I don't know what actually happened there.
One there.
Well, she come up short, has she? Anyway.
Yes. Well, I think the concern around Tanya Kanunavale, and it could be that rib cage that she injured last week. And Pip Love as well, look at that.
I don't think we want to look at that, do we?
No, we don't. No. Do we want to know the gory details?
It's a bit too close for me to comfort. I think I'm going to sit back down and look away. But look, Waikato again, Chelsea Ali's boot has got them out of trouble. The tackling the tackles they've made, they've got to make the most of this time, because they cannot keep holding Canterbury out like this, surely, as impressive as this defence has been.
Oh, looking at the sky and some extra intervention for Tanya Kanunavale. Took up a rib injury in the last weekend's semi-final against Manawatu. And Pip Love, oh yes, terrible injury. It's just a miracle for me that she's even selected in this, given that she only had surgery 3 weeks ago.
Well, they're going to have to bring her off, and it's a re-strap. I don't know if they're going to get this away for blood. They may be saying it's blood, but they're going to get a re-strap and bring her off. So that means Trina Greenslade's going to come on for Canterbury.
She did front for Canterbury in last week's semi-final. Trina Greenslade did a good job as well. So depth on the bench for the Red and Blacks. And up and over goes Alana Bremner to Anderson. Again, taking 3 or 4 players. She's right over the ball. Oh, great work at the breakdown. Again, kudos to Waikato. Look at that competitiveness. Expect nothing less.
Well, we talked about it earlier. This loose trio are very, very good over the ball. I mean, and their whole front row have really come to the party there. They're playing for each other. And I mean, it was the first time that Canterbury were pressured last week at the breakdown, and here you got Waikato no different.
Some secret signals being employed by Cox's Edge.
Oh, this is a great attacking opportunity, isn't it? Midfield scrum, they've got a decent blind to work with as well. Steinmetz out here alongside Curtis.
This time Anderson picks it up herself, doesn't need any instructions and marches forward. Coxedge finds Bremner C. Again, able to utilise those long levers and hop over a couple of players. McGovern now put into a gap. Can she find Lola here, who just scoops the ball out of the air? Far side of Rugby Park. And Greenslade into the action already.
Advantage.
Another foray into the deep defence of Waikato on advantage as well.
You're under advantage, halfback, offside.
It's almost thrown underarm. And there's nothing coming from that, so Coxedge just give me the ball. I want to take it quickly.
Mike's here on me.
Wow, what do you do if you're Canterbury here? You have been hammering down on this line, but nothing to show for it. And have probably been down here. It feels like, yeah, I was going to say, they're going to have to take the points.
Yeah, good decision. Good decision there. It's almost, you're 30 minutes into the game. They need to get on the points on the board. But you can see that what they're wanting to do is they're trying to... This was great work there from Liv McGovern. We've seen her do it time and time again. And Martha Lolo here is able to keep the ball in play. It's what you want from your winger. Canterbury have had all the possession.
I think this is a win for Waikato, forcing them to take these points, be able to restart, get out of here for a wee while.
Hey, look at the very talented players in Farah Palmer 2020. Coxedge, leading point scorer on 75, and just has a little survey of those posts just inside that left-hand upright. And boots it through the middle. So the first points, we've waited until the 31st minute. Steph Teo Heidi Fox, last year's skipper, is happy with that, but 3-0. And 30.5 minutes gone in the match. I wonder what's going through her mind. She'll be thinking hard. Remember last year and last year's final here against Auckland, and she dropped that goal, which was just pivotal in the outcome of that match that Canterbury won to take their third title. It had such a big influence. And we know Chelsea Ellie, how gifted she is as well. Lucy Jenkins, tireless, number 7. And they're underway again. 8 minutes left in the first half. Terrific work, believing and coming away with it, secured from the kick-off. And now it's going to have to be all defence for Canterbury as the so talented Waikato side try and get it wide. And one thing that they have been very good at when they have had possession is that they have been able to keep the ball. Brooker having to go back and tidy up. And takes the ball back now. Coxedge has a look up before she gives it a decent boot off her shin.
Well, that was a great passage of play, and if we go back to the kickoff, that's what I'm probably most excited about. That's 2 Blackburn Sevens teammates that know how to play with each other, and what they've done is they've kicked it, and Stacey Flula just coming and taking it beautifully. It's a good setup here. Ricky?
Sorry, Vance, I was going to say, you can put that one down to Alan Bunting and Corey Sweeney, the Blackburn Sevens coaches, but that's what they've got to do, utilise Flula's strength in the air, and she won it brilliantly, and they're in great attacking position now.
The sun bursting through the significant nor'west cloud cover. Hot enough as it is, and now the ball taken back, beautifully brought in as well. And a chance now for Robbins Arete. Holmes delivers to Hohepa, and just happy to take it wide. This time it's up in the air. Can Lola here take it cleanly? Yes, she can. And goes to depth. And holding on again, Canterbury. Good work, Waikato, and look at those bench players on the sideline.
Well, that was a great take from Martha Lolo here. She's very, very good under the high ball, really good with ball in hand. But again, it hasn't been the game that we've seen Martha Lolo here or Stacey Flula in at the moment.
Well, this is definitely the right thing to do for the Waikato is to get a bit of distance and get the throw in.
Pip Love coming back out onto the field for Canterbury. Got that finger tapped. I'm not taped around. I'm not entirely sure where they found some blood from, but they did. Look at that Waikato bench in the background there. They are absolutely pumped. Both benches riding every moment of this game just to the side of me.
Now, what can they do with this Waikato? It's a handsome attacking area. And again, it just falls. Not the tightest, but the important thing is that they have kept possession, and their also talented backline will be desperate for a little chance to take it forward. Hohepa gets the ball back. Hovering for it is Anderson from the Waikato, and they are just millimetres away. Kunavale says, give it to me. Baylor. Ali swings it wide, fast hands, and out wide, they've got numbers. Is this going to be the first try? Yes, it is. Oh, wow-wee. Is she just short? Oh, my goodness, Alana Bremner, she just pulled off a miraculous tackle. And they big punch forward now as they try and get that ball over the line. Wonderful chance. Can they finish off what Canterbury couldn't down the other end? Baylor out wide. Hohepa, Holmes looks for it. Robbins Reti slips, unfortunately for her, and it's picked up. And a little knock on as well. And McGovern might have got a little smack in the mouth as well. So thrilling play, and again just failure to finish the pressure of a final.
What a great passage of play again. If we look at the interlinking, the passing between the Lucy's on the outsides, and here I think it really started from Carla Hohepa with the quick hands there that she was able to let loose the outsides. Man, it's almost heartbreaking they were this close to the try line.
Yeah, that's the ball, isn't it? But go back, and you said try-saving tackle by, you thought Alana Bremner. It was Kendra Coxedge from behind who was able to drag down Stacey Flula just a metre short. But we highlighted them in the build-up. The Waikato Lucy's, their ball skills. Kennedy Simon, the number 8, continues to impress, and they almost cut them up there.
Certainly did. Robbins Reti looking for her chance. And Canterbury, there's 4 minutes left in this first half of the final.
It's Rebecca Todd there, hooker for Canterbury. She's a converted Lucy. When she was playing up in Auckland, she did come out of the Ponsonby Rugby Club, but she acts as a fourth Lucy, so to speak. She's in and around the game all the time. Really great over the ball. It's great to see her out there, and she's been awarded in the Possible Probables match. That's great to see.
She's had a good season. I remember her crashing over in 2017 for the only try when Canterbury took their first title. And Coxedge now gets the ball and looking to take it up. Gapper, the mum of 3, first 5 for Canterbury. And Coxedge puts it up high. Has it gone far enough? It has into over the sideline.
Interesting to see what Waikato will do here. They always opt to go for a short line now, but I think that's because they want their Lucy's out in the midfield to get some ball and get into some real work. China Hohepa, critical in this piece here.
21.
It was a call, battered back, and collecting player and ball at the same time, and a little knock on.
Again, that was Rebecca Todd from the Canterbury team, just putting that extra pressure. That's the experience that she brings to this team, and it has paid off. Canterbury ball.
Well, basically, from the moment I've said that Waikato haven't missed a line-out, their line-out's been pretty much a disaster ever since.
A lot of them, they're just waking off the top.
Tanika Willison under all sorts of pressure there. Hohepa's the target, but Canterbury have been able to get up and disrupt, and they're quite happy to try and get out of here and absorb a little bit more pressure and get into the shed shortly.
There's 2 minutes left in the first 40. 3-0, courtesy of a Kendra Coxedge penalty, the 31st minute. That after a couple of scoring opportunities, right royal ones they were too, missed by Canterbury. A good scrum coming from the red and blacks.
Tie head standing up. Straight up. Mike Taylor.
Wonder how her ribcage is. Tania Kalunavale. Catching a couple of the balls kicked our way, Vanya.
They seem to be aiming for me, I think.
Yep, I think you're right. Good crowd, as you can see, at Rugby Park there, the possession stakes territory. Anderson will not get past those two tacklers. Oh, Bremner catches it behind it, did well to hang on. And not able to make any forward movement, and picked up by Lola here. Went backwards, said referee Marnie. Lola here's been impressive for Canterbury. The little chances that she's had. And coming wide, that awkward bounce again. Oh, and palmed off. This is a great chance, speculative as it is. China Hohepa, and a penalty for Waikato in the dying stages of the first half. Surely very kickable from here.
We look at that penalty count. We're sitting at 8 for Canterbury.
On the time.
They're starting to creep up there, and you can't afford to do that against a really good Waikato team. They're in everything. Here's their shot at capitalising on that. So look at the pressure here. It was Tanika Willison who read that like a book, and just a simple offload to China Hohepa. She's been in everything. It's great to see her out of the Kirikiki club in Waikato. She was part of the 2014 final team for Waikato there. Her work rate, she's just great. And great to be in the community. She's really one that has grown the game at the Kirikiki club there.
This isn't an easy kick for Ellie. That wind's coming straight down towards her.
Here she comes in now, and it has hit the upright. And Coxedge has to use all of her stretch to bring the ball down, and that is half-time. Boy, it's been action-packed. Look at Coxedge sprinting off. And 40 minutes of Farah Palmer Cup Finals 2020 has been completed, and it's Canterbury with just the one penalty goal, courtesy of Coxedge. They lead the Waikato 3-0. Well, the first half is completed in Farah Palmer Cup Finals 2020, and it's just a 3-0 lead to Canterbury, the defending champions. It is hot out in the middle, 27 degrees. It is now northwest, and at times a significant northwesterly breeze coming across Rugby Park. So that is the scoring opportunity. Well, we've had more opportunities, and we'll find out about that in just a moment. But that is all there is, folks. There isn't any more. Just the penalty, and 3-0 to Canterbury over Waikato. Some terrific defence, Vania Wolfgram, that we've seen from the visitors, and I think you'll talk us through it.
Yeah, look, it's been a whole lot of rugby, but a whole lot of times where we've missed those opportunities. Here was a great play there just before where Kennedy Simons held that ball up, but here, Sam Curtis, just an unfortunate knock-on right in front of the goal, but I think just, it's just the pressure moments, and one that we don't often see her do that. Also here, there might have been a touch on the ball there, but Grace Brooker, look at that disappointment on her face. Umalola here gets the ball out to Steinmetz, and here we see just simple draw and pass, but Alana Bremner brings it back in. So close to the line here. A tackle from Carla Hohepa. But that's what it has been all this half, hasn't it been, Leslie? Tackling, and more tackling.
Oh, they have played for each other, Waikato, especially in defence. They have made some critical bootlace tackles, and often gone in pairs, if not in threes, to make and try and stop the Cantabrians from scoring. So it is definitely a day for the Ice Creams. Big queue there. Is Ricky over there? We'd love to be over there, but we've got more coming up for you very shortly. It's going to be the second half of Farah Palmer Cup 2020. It is Canterbury, though, who are lead by just a slim margin, 3-0. Well, Canterbury lead just by 3-0. There's been some fantastic defence from the Waikato. Let's go to their assistant coach, Cody Price. He's with Ricky Swinnell sideline.
Cody, you absorbed a huge amount of pressure in that first half. So what's the message for the second to execute when you do get ball in hand?
Yeah, obviously a tough half from us. small mistakes at key times didn't help that. But when we get into the right parts of the field, just simplifying it, being a little more clinical, and obviously I think this game's going to come down to 1 or 2 key moments. So hopefully we can be on the good side at this half.
And what's the mindset of your team going into the sheds after all of that effort?
Pretty positive. Obviously we defended for a long period, so we take that as a bit of a win, and hopefully this half it can be the opposite, and we can get a little bit more ball and go from there. Yeah.
All the best for the second half. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Melissa, you played a lot of rugby in that first half and missed some big opportunities. So what's the message in the sheds at half time?
Yeah, we did, but hey, that's in the first half, and the girls have certainly put that behind them. And we're in the right place. We've just got to execute that final pass, and it'll come. We knew it would be 80 minutes.
All right, all the best for the second half.
Thank you.
Pretty perfunctory, wasn't it? As the Waikato side, being led by their skipper Chelsea Alley, exits the changing sheds on Melbourne Park, which adjoins Rugby Park here in Christchurch. And the crowd and the important people in the governance with their shirts and ties. I wonder what they think of this final in Farah Palmer 2020, the 2 best teams in the competition.
Great to see Farah Palmer there in the crowd, and also Katie Sadlier from World Rugby. Probably the best place to be in anywhere in the world is New Zealand, right?
Absolutely right. Yes, Dr. Farah Palmer, of course, who this competition is named after, and New Zealand Rugby Board member. And it will be Canterbury, courtesy of Kendra Coxedge, to kick off in the second half. There she is, top of your screen, top left, Dr. Farah Palmer. Stuart Mitchell on her right. And a bit of frivolity between referee Rebecca Marnie and Kendra Coxedge. And we're off. Second half action in Farah Palmer Cup 2020. And immediately Spillett just couldn't quite get the meat of her hands under that ball, Chelsea Bremner.
Over here. Mark's here.
It's just about been the story of this match, hasn't it? The pressure coming on from both teams at critical times.
Yeah, just make sure you're on the train.
And as we get set for the scrum, Ricky Swinell, do we know of any changes going into the second half?
No, I haven't seen any changes at the second half. That breeze has dropped right down again. It's a nice bit of cloud cover coming across too. Loving the spring summertime rugby in Christchurch. Sunscreen out.
I was going to check to make sure you had some.
Those of the fairer skin variety, it's difficult times, difficult conditions.
Pip Love in the front row for Canterbury. And a big shove on, but secured. And a bit of spoiling by Coxedge, but watch out when they get it wide. And another drop, 1 each, early stages of second half.
Look, that handling error from superstar Stacey Flula, but I'm just looking at the stats here. Waikato are sitting at 8 and Canterbury are sitting at 6, so it's very high. It is, I will say it is hot and it's slippery, but it is really uncharacter for some of these players.
Absolutely, the humidity is not high when it's in Nor'wester. It sits at only about 48%, so it's not as though it's got a lot of moisture in the air. But it is 27 degrees. You would think we're in the middle of a summer. But these 2 teams have shown us throughout Farah Palmer Cup that they are fit. They like to run the ball. 3-0 Canterbury. Just getting... Here it is. That's what they're playing for. Kendra Coxedge, phenomenal point score at 968 after the penalty today in her career. And the next best points-wise, Salika Winiata, the silky skilled Manawatu fullback on 528. Lucy Jenkins on the side of the scrum, getting set for Canterbury. And there it is for Coxedge. Urges her team forward. Another little kick through, in behind, in between the lines and scragged down Holmes and right over the top, but again safely secured. Renee Holmes. Good work from her. Ali does really well and gets the ball away, and they'll get a penalty as well. Such a cool, calm, understated player, Chelsea Ali. Doesn't show much emotion. Does the hard yards for her side.
Chelsea Ali, she is a great leader. Not surprised that she is the captain of the Waikato team, but that tactic there from Grace Brooker, that kick did not go out. Makalolo here with the ball.
Cardinalson, we've seen a few of them as she busts through one tackle. Martha Lola here, thrilling the big crowd that's filled the stand at Rugby Park. This time Bremner. And out wide it goes to McGovern, who tries a little goose step. Looks to backflip the ball to Coxedge, and they had been pushed wide on that right side. Jenkins offloads to Steinmetz. Again, the tackling is sure. Flula in there as well. Gaffer passes it on to Amy Rule, who gets dumped to the ground, twists and turns, and gets the ball back to Coxedge. Gaffer finds McGovern, and it's spilt. And turnover apiece, but they'll go back to the first one. What happened there? She's saying to herself.
And just a little bobble as she hit the ground, I think, and a really good tackle by Tanika Willison, dumping on McGovern here, just as they look to get out the back. There's Willison there and driving her into the ground, and maybe a little bit unlucky, but I think either way, Natua is going to get a call on there anyway. Great tackle, Willison.
Yeah, and the tackle before that from Kennedy Simons, just textbook. I mean, these girls are just in for it. They're here.
And that's brutal tackling, isn't it? That's exactly what you need in a final. A mean business.
I think she's been really impressive today, Tanika Willison, as we said earlier. Not a player we've talked a whole heap about this season because she's just been so steady, but still just a young woman, about 23. Been in that Blackfern 7 setup for so long now and using that experience to her advantage.
Well, Ricky, we talk about Tanika Willison out of the Hamilton Girls High School program. She's played the first 5 position, and I was really excited to hear that she was going to be playing the Farah Palmer Cup. I thought she was going to be someone really critical coming through the Black Ferns program, but no surprises that they've picked her up in the 7. She's just talented, skillful, great to see her out there, just in her element and enjoying herself.
Look, we've seen her when she's going forward with the ball, and she's got great ball skills, ball handling skills, but what we've seen today is the other part to her game, her tackling just then. And again, another penalty against Canterbury. And look at that.
Good on her. That's Tanya Kalonivale. Let's go. You got to amp your team up when you're in these kind of situations. I love it.
Well, she didn't make touch the last time, Chelsea Ali, but she made sure of it this time. And look at the intent on her face. Tanya Kalunavale playing with that slight rib injury. Gutsy, gutsy. And spoiled. And Love grabs it after it was tipped to her, to a teammate, and desperately trying to bring the ball down. And look at that Kalunavale in amongst it as well. But the pressure going on the ball carrier, and she's over it again and has won the ball for Waikato. A little step to the right and some desperate jersey pulling down and a little knock forward as well. The smothering defence from Waikato. Boy, she's having a great time.
Number 8, loose.
I wondered who was going to go to their bench first and what sort of impact they will look to get in, and it's a change for Canterbury. Coming off is Lucy Anderson, the number 8, Angie Sisefa. What an option to bring on the field.
Yeah, great leader. Has been around the traps. Played a lot of the games last year after sitting out 2018 with a back injury, but back and only getting limited game time because of the form of Lucy Anderson, but she's got plenty of minutes, 32 and a half at her disposal to do something with it. Breeze getting up a bit, Ricky.
No, not at all. It's still just perfectly pleasant, really, other than being quite hot for these players and coming through that winter training. No, it's not really that much of a factor. Because you're up a little, you're elevated. That's why you think it's breezy, but it's pretty good at ground level.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's important for the players. Just thinking the notes, just getting a little bit of levity off the table up here.
Come up.
Unlike earlier this morning when a big gust came through, flipped the phone off and smacked it and smashed it. That's how tough the earlier wind gusts were. So thankfully, it has settled down. They want perfect conditions for the perfect finale. So 9th final for Canterbury since 1999. You think of all those years that Auckland won it. Anna Richards, I keep remembering about her contribution to rugby in this country is just immense.
Crouch. Bind.
Canterbury skipper, Alana Bremner.
Sit.
First year as captain. And Sisifa gets a hello welcome from Baylor. But they keep the ball. Lower here, who's been the best of the Canterbury players. And again, a little drop. And might have been told about it too as she gets up off the ground.
I think that was Anderson that disrupted that play, and I'm not too sure if she's come off second best. However, great here for Waikato. Just listening in there for the referee.
Yeah, fine. Perfect. Thank you. Let's go. Let's go, ladies. Knock on.
There's a war of attrition. It's almost like they are trying to execute the second thing before the first thing's been completed, and that is pressure.
Yeah, sooner or later someone's going to get punished, aren't they? There have been too many errors, these little knock-ons on the ground, drop ball like that in contact. There's too many quality players in both of these sides for it not to hurt someone at some point in this final.
Yep, agree with that.
Bind.
And at 3-0, 50th minute coming up. What a terrific scrum. Oh, this time it's Canterbury who are joyous. And Amy Rule getting the pats on the back. The girl from Gore. She's had a tremendous season in that tight head propping role.
What I love about Amy Rule and a couple of her teammates, especially Angie Sisifa, is that they are coaching their local secondary school teams, and the beautiful article that came out from Locker Room, Ashley Stanley actually identified that. And I think that's a real big turning point for our game. The women's game is giving back.
No doubt about that. And secured safely. Oh, poor pass, but picked up beautifully by McGovern. Sisifa rumbles forward a couple of metres. Gapper comes around behind. Oh, and a lot of noise and a couple of tackles. Again, look at all those Waikato players around the ball carrier. This time it was Brooker. And Nellis, a handy little backflip as she picks the ball up. It was backwards, was it? Play on, no, gets a late call. So another knock on. And the tall frame of Cindy Nellis picked it up beautifully. But another knock on prior to that.
Off, number 3.
Change coming in the Waikato front row. That'll be in the front, well, I just said front row, didn't I? Stephanie Lualua coming on in 17 for Tanya Kalunavale.
I'm going to say the same thing to them. Scrum
Not
times are really
quite
slow
happening
process. I know you're
just
back,
yet.
but you are captain.
Standing
Please
by.
speed up the process on the scrums.
Well, she's done well to the last 51 minutes, Tanya Kalunavale. And she has provided a lot of the
I've said the same thing to Charles.
mongrel
Let's just put the pressure on the girls to speed
for
up
the
scrum
pack
process.
for Waikato.
We're spending a lot of time getting ourselves set up. I think we can get the process going a bit quicker. Come again to me.
Canterbury, no tries from their 22-metre
Okay.
visits. 8 of them.
Let's go.
Grace Hopapa Barrett just getting some treatment at the moment too. The Waikato hooker,
Time
who's
on.
another who's
Where's my mark?
a real standout year for Waikato. She
And
took
where
him
we
off
got?
earlier on. The player who has earned a place in that possibles probables
might have been
match
strip.
next weekend. To
Let's
be
go.
live on Sky. We'll see the best of the best going at each other. The places in the Black Ferns.
Great idea, isn't it? Fantastic. 8 from
Yeah, I'm coming.
Waikato,
I am
6
coming.
from
Mark's here,
Canterbury.
let's go. This one? Yep.
And again, the crowd getting energised. They don't have the ball. Ariana Baylor has that. Great story, Ricky, isn't it? Ariana Baylor and her 3 knee reconstructions. How would you come back from that, especially the third one?
Testament to the great patience and perseverance, hard work, and obviously a love of the game for Ariana Baylor.
Stay down, stay down.
Now and again, a bit of shove from Canterbury, but willing to run it from their defence. And the jersey pull can't work as they try and bring down Flula. All secured by Ali. And look, she's got so much time, hasn't she, to exit the ball. A lovely little step from Kennedy Simon for Waikato. Kalunavale can't make any metres this time.
Hold.
And Baylor. Now, what can Waikato make from that? Robbins Retti. Oh, that little goose step, so clever. The sevens player, Robbins Retti, and this time won by Canterbury. Over the ball, got there in numbers.
Yep, that was Grace Brooker, Martha Lulu here that were able to secure that. But I love the confidence out in Waikato who, you know, they were right on the goal line. They needed to get out and they decided to get the ball out to Stacey Flula. I mean, why wouldn't you? But she was able to set up really nicely here for her teammate. Shayal Robbins-Letti, she's had an outstanding campaign this year.
Gee, I tell you what, we talk a lot about Pip Love's finger, but you want to see the strapping on Robbins-Retti's finger. Line out secured. Defence up hard and fast, and a little forward pass. Gee, we've had everything, haven't we? Again, the pressure.
Yeah, number 3.
And it's that defence that comes up so hard.
So 2 changes now coming for Waikato. That one I mentioned, Lualua on for Kulunavale, and a change at hooker. Hope Upper Barrett will come off, and Medania Paraoni comes on in 16, and she has been a real live wire coming off the bench for them this season, Paraoni. And I think the harder Canterbury are trying, the more errors are coming, and they're starting to get a little bit frustrated, the defending champions, and Waikato, on the other hand, a little bit boosted. There's all sorts of interested spectators here today.
Trevor Mallard, Speaker of the House, or loves the sport, always has. Enjoying the lovely spring balmy conditions. And this time for Canterbury. So pushing early.
Early push.
Yep.
Scrum, ladies. Red ball. So much.
Well, they're starting to get on top here, aren't they, Canterbury? The scrum. Waikato have been pedalling backwards on their own ball. They've had to scramble it clear a couple of times. And they're really well connected. This lot is with the backs lining out.
They got a hefty blindside there, and I really hope that they do attack. I would love to see Steinmetz with the ball in hand.
Out it comes quickly. Sitafa to Coxie. This time a little grubber kick. That big bounce as well. It's going to force Waikato to take it back, and Holmes gets rid of it really well under so much pressure. Gee, game awareness and territory awareness.
That's ground awareness too, isn't it? Knowing that this is a hard ground, the way that ball bounced, it was ugly for Flula to deal with. Credit to Holmes.
That has been the feature too, hasn't it? Let's face it, the way the ball has bounced on this very hard ground. Now a big shove coming on from Canterbury. Shunted back initially, but pushing forward as the crowd absorb more from the home side. And they're all in there, except for 2 or 3 backs. And that defence pushing forward there. It's gone backwards and a little knock on. And Canterbury will get the ball. The ball went to ground and touched a Waikato hand.
Ball was still moving, ladies.
Oh, this is a very handy position.
Go back to Kendra Coxie and that kick. I mean, that's just class. That is experience, that's leadership. They're just putting the ball back down there and putting more pressure against a Waikato team.
Something's got to give, Leslie, something's got to give. Who's going to be the player to stand up and take this final by the scruff of the neck?
I reckon we heard from Melissa Rusco in your interview at half-time. She said, we knew it was always going to be 80 minutes.
Bind!
That's exactly. Let's have a listen.
Let's go, girls. It's scrum, eh?
They must be getting tired.
Yeah, so one
Changes for Waikato in that front row, so they're going to have to adjust. They get ready for the commands.
Bind! Sit!
Intensity on the faces.
Same like ladies.
Again, I'll try it again. And scrums have been going pretty well, really, throughout the match.
Yeah, probably Canterbury are getting the better of the scrums in the last maybe 10, 20 minutes, but here we see some injection from the Waikato team. I loved what Ricky said about Parone. She has been a rising star, and great to see her get some minutes.
Let's see what happens here. I saw Tip Love just spit a command out to Kendra Coxedge, and that scrum broke down. So what's going to happen here? And it's a win to Waikato. Wow, especially in their deep defence. Tight head. Mark that one down in the 59th minute.
Stephanie Lualua not looking too great, but I mean, she's just managed to hold that scrum with her teammates, relieving the pressure of for their team.
On the line.
Oh, this is quite extraordinary, isn't it? The cut and thrust between these teams. We always knew that they were going to be well matched. Always thought that Waikato were going to come down here and bring it to the defending champions on a 20-match winning streak. But I don't think we would have thought with these backlines chock full of stars, these loose forwards that can cut teams open, that we would be 3-0 after almost 60 minutes. It's what you want from finals footy, but I think if you're the coaching team, and I know the benches from both sides, I don't think they've sat down all of the second half.
It has been the game of the tacklers. It has been the pressure, and it has been the never say die. When for all intents and purposes, you thought that there was going to be a try. Another change for Canterbury.
Yeah, Pit Love's coming to the side now with to warm applause. What a Trojan effort to play with that terribly broken finger from a couple of weeks ago. So now permanently replaced by Trina Greenslade.
Right, still got some attention out there for one of the Waikato players. As the cloud cover comes over once again. Lua.
Time on. Waikato's inside.
Back after getting a bit more strapping to add to what she's already got. Nice hard throw, and right in the bread box. And taken in the air.
In the air, ladies.
A chance now for Waikato to get out of their defensive 22 and make some metres up. Halfway between the 22 and halfway.
These penalties have let Waikato off the crook a couple of times, haven't they, from Canterbury? It's allowed them just to get out, and they haven't been good enough to take it as yet, and another one goes astray.
Yes, you're right, Ricky, absolutely right. As Waikato try and burst over that loose ball, and again, Coxedge opts for a kick. Oh, does really well. Stacey Flula, safe hands, what an athlete. Body balance, goes to ground, and perfectly lays it off for her teammate. Oh, a little show and go, and gets the ball away as well. That's what the punters have come to see. Ali now tries to break through two tackles, gaffers over the ball. But again, as we've seen and come to appreciate from this Waikato side, they are very good at protecting their ball. still in the defensive half, looping it around, letting it go to Robin Zaretti, who hunches her body around and protects it again to ensure that she lays it back for the players. Natua, clever, the prop. Canterbury having to make a lot of tackles. Bremner was over the ball, grabs it, but will get pinged.
Right first. Hands. Right first. Hands.
Oh, she's asking the ref, but I'm just looking at the Waikato team. I'm not too sure why they're not taking the option for field position, or field territory, I should say. They've been playing down here, in the, you know, just in their red zone for the last real grind. What they just need to do is just take the ball up, be real direct, set the ball up so they can then get some territory with the kicking game. But they're opting to run.
Well, there it is illustrated, isn't it? And again, they've just allowed Waikato to creep downfield. Got to be accurate here, Waikato, as the Canterbury crowd bays.
Yep, shorten line out. Ooh, not straight. You hit the nail on the head, Ricky. It had to be right, and it wasn't. No, it is to and froing.
Scrum, ladies. Red ball.
Yeah, not what you want when you've just got the ball into your attacking half. And the bench loved it. Pip Love, Lucy Anderson. So again, another scrum.
Stay up for me. Stay square for me. Stay off each other's heads.
And those instructions keep being rolled out.
And out.
Just looking at the Canterbury backline, they've got Sam Curtis. They're standing just in behind Gappa. Whether they're going to use her as an option or just use it to hold up the defence of the Waikato 10 and 12 channel.
Now, full array of players, and McGovern has to run forward and reach for the ball. And if you can read lips, you know exactly how she feels about that.
Well, these handling errors are not helping either side today.
Outstanding.
You know, we haven't seen a little sniping run from Kendra Coxedge in this match yet, and you're kind of wondering, you know, if rather than just lay the ball off, whether she'd chance her arm.
Well, I think the loosies and the actual tight five are actually making it difficult for her to actually get her hands on the ball and just smothering her there. So, yeah, I agree. But I'm no doubt that if the opportunity did come, she will pounce on that.
Danger here. Willison tucked in behind the scrum. Ali, Hohepa and Flula all lined out to the left. Good here. Another penalty.
Tight head angle.
Oh, another tight head.
Number 3. No, angle.
So the new front row of Waikato are working superbly well, and you'd have to think she'd have a go at this with the wind now at ground level just about 0, is it, Ricky?
Yeah, absolutely. Hohepa, Carla Hohepa that is, and Stacey Flula have both pointed for the post, and instead they've gone the tap.
They're going to run it. Why not? Show their attack and believe in themselves. Waikato as they rumble that ball forward once more. Baylor very quick to offload the ball. Oh, and spilt forward. And if it's not one team, it's the other. And an advantage now coming to Holmes, who grabs the ball, and Brooker puts all the pressure on her and tries to get away. And Flula has the ball. Who's going to win the race? Coxedge.
Trouble here. Trouble here for Canterbury. Flula taken out. Might have been Sissy for coming across. Right in front of the touch judge, Lauren Jenner.
The winner out of the way, just to prevent him from chasing the ball.
So where the ball landed?
Yeah.
Penalty mark is where the ball landed? Correct.
Just a scrum where the ball's
Against number 5.
Where was our advantage?
At number 5.
There's been Nellis coming across, yeah.
You made use of the ball.
Pivotal
Half-back did
moment
what you
in the
wanted to
game.
do with it. Banajova. Number 5. Where is she? Number 5. So it's a penalty only against you. She's taken the player after the kick. Yeah. So it's a penalty where the ball landed. Okay? Push 10. Where's my mark?
All right, probably lucky not to get more than that, but it will hurt Canterbury.
Well, it's a good option there from Stacey Flula here. She puts the ball on her foot.
Late tackle.
Oh, there we see. Probably a massive Hollywood there from Cindy.
Yeah. Oh, no, she gave her a nudge, and look, I think it's indicative of the amount of support that the Waikato team have got in the stands here, but they are in there attacking 22. We haven't seen it very much. And one thing that we've come to admire is the way that they maintain possession, inching ever closer to that try line. The girls from the Waikato, fast and direct. Out wide it comes. You talk about important moments in the match. They are inching millimetres closer to that. Hohepa takes the ball to ground, tucks it underneath her. Oh, and another penalty against Canterbury, not taking any nonsense. Rebecca Marnie.
So her first go, she's not on the ball. She's had a second crack on a ruck.
I don't think she agrees with that. She doesn't have the whistle. Here they go. Oh, a little
Roll out, tackle.
look one way and run the other. Rumbling it forward is Natua.
Roll three.
Out wide, out to the left they go this time. Ali, so good at bumping off tacklers. Canterbury have to be careful. They've had a lot of penalties, and head down and making those metres. Natua offloads, looking for some dancing feet of the backs.
Stay here, stay here.
Ali has a look at the try line and is just caught up. Terrific tackling. What can the Waikato do from here? Oh, she's got the white line open in front of her. Nellis makes the tackle for Canterbury. Out wide it goes. And Hohepa. Oh, and here comes an advantage for Waikato, which they have earned. Baylor digs away for the ball. Happy to keep it going. Referee Marnie to try and find something at the end of this. A desperate lunge for that white line. And held off again. Coxedge, Nellis in there for Canterbury. They've got the advantage. And they'll get the penalty. And here's a double whistle. They'll be down a player, Canterbury.
Time's off. Lana. So clearly the girls are under pressure.
Yeah.
A couple advantages. Tackler not rolling, okay, and playing the halfback, okay.
Yeah,
just have a chat with them. No more down here.
Lucky. Kendra Coxedge really giving out some instructions, and man, have they found themselves in such a good position. 64 minutes gone in the match, and just the penalty goal by Kendra Coxedge with Waikato hot on attack.
Charles, you got
They just need to hold the ball, you know. I think they're grinding, they're making good, just go forward, and it's just slow. They just need to be patient with it and then let the ball go.
Now, here we go. Ariana Baylor.
Alana, are we good?
And off we go. Going in, oh, drop the ball. Oh,
I think she got that one, Leslie. Or maybe I just really want someone to score.
I think you might be right, Vania. Kennedy Simon, who else? She's been in the thick of it.
Clear grounding.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I have.
You have seen a clear grounding. So on-field decision is try.
Yeah.
But we're going to check.
Check, yeah, absolutely.
Great eyes, Vania Wolfgram.
Lee, can you
Well,
hear
I've
me?
only got one, but when you looked at Simon,
So
Kennedy
on-field decision
Simon.
is try. Can you give me any reason why I can't award it? What did she say?
Yeah, just
She's checking.
reason, yeah. I saw that it was grounded at the end, but if it was, you know, lost for first, just be safe.
Very confident.
Where's the big screen?
Oh, yes, downward pressure on that.
I think just going to the play beforehand, you saw Parone, she was lining up ready for the ball, and I think Canterbury were all lining up on her, and it was Kennedy Simons who took it on the right-hand side with a little bit of a step, and she just really pumps her legs and tries to get over the goal line.
Can you hear?
No, not
Yeah, man, that's a try for me.
Okay.
Well, you picked it, Vania Wolfgram.
I am.
try.
So try stands.
Try stands. Here we are. And Waikato take the lead.
Kennedy Simon scored that try. Well, happy birthday. In the 64th minute, we've had a try.
If it's Waikato, let's get them on now.
Wow, what a huge moment. They have just absorbed so much pressure, but the Canterbury penalties piggyback them downfield, and Waikato, their fans that have made the trip, are finally rewarded. And Kennedy Simon, another standout performance from the 4-test Blackfern.
Yeah, absolutely right, Ricky. They have been steelily determined. Their tackling has been so accurate, and they've just waited for their chance and put the pressure on Canterbury, and that is over as well. So 7-3 in favour of the Waikato. What a season. So much admiration for the work that they did in the early stages.
Yeah, look, she just managed to get on the outside of Lucy Jenkins there. So here we go, the next 20 minutes. Who is going to get up?
Hold.
Well, they'll be playing with a bit of confidence now. Waikato have made the big breakthrough. Oh, and great hands from Flula, and that wonderful little goose step that she's got. Look, you can almost see a different complexion coming over the way that they're handling the ball, getting go forward, front foot ball. 15 minutes left in the match. Natua running like a back. Baylor offloading. Waikato jerseys everywhere and blowing over the top, but can't affect that. Hohepa takes the ball to deck. The younger of the two Hohepa sisters playing at lock. Ali, runs into Amy Rule, who doesn't get up. And just doesn't it show you how tough Chelsea Ellie is? Amy Rule is in a lot of pain.
Chelsea, are you okay?
Is it just
Yeah, we'll restart with the scrum to you guys.
winded, or did it get a higher up?
Might have been, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was bone on bone, but Chelsea, that's her role as a second five for this team in particular. She needs to take the ball forward. They go to her. I'm not surprised that she's taken it right into contact. Oh, was that a...
I think she might have got the chin on the shoulder or even the elbow of Ali, accidental Amy Rule. But they had already just made a change too in the front row, Canterbury, with Georgia Ponsonby coming on for Rebecca Todd, and matchday doctors just having a look here at Amy Rule and what happened. But you're right, Vania, and it's Chelsea Ellie. She carries hard when they try to get Waikato out of trouble, and always just runs straight and direct, and it's a real feature of the game and the leadership of Chelsea Ellie.
And then it's also the second play of that. So when they get really good front forward ball, they're able to recycle that. That's the next part to that. So getting over the ball for Waikato is really what they're really good at here. We just have a look at that try again from Kennedy Simons, and the smile of Emily Heta, that loose trio we talked about earlier on. They have been phenomenal. Just great to see them really playing for each other.
Well, I think that's been really evident today. If it wasn't enough in that semi-final against Manawatu, the way that they have remained resilient and true to the game plan.
So Amy Rule staying out there for now. I know it's still being looked at, but there's no
Time on.
HIA protocol like you would see in the Mitre 10 Cup or Super Rugby, for example. So satisfied that she's okay to carry on at the moment.
And Ricky, we look at the scrum here. We've got Tanika just slightly to the right of the scrum. They could go either way.
I think you'd go the Ali Hohepa Flula way out towards me, out on the left.
Yeah, I'd be going that way as well.
Bones!
And they've got their tails up. Waikato, the only try of the match. Scored just a minute and a half ago.
No, 7. I mean, 7.
Ali, again, being very influential to Flula. Dancing her way down that left-hand touchline. Looks terrific with ball in hand. Such an athlete, and again, Simon in there, muscling her way through. Kennedy, Simon, oh wow, just brushes off another tackle. Waikato, here they come again. Ali sensing opportunity now for the Waikato. Pareone. They go left. Looking for that chink. They are over the 22, out on the left-hand side of the park. Baylor has read it superbly, out towards the middle, makes valuable metres. And again, Heta takes it up. Oh, and a little drop. And
number 5, ladies. 7 taking next to roll. Number 5
holding on.
Holding.
Good work from Nellis over that ball, and also a great tackle by Grace Brooker on Stacey Flula. She's made some really big hits today. Has Brooker exactly what you'd expect from a player of that quality.
Gee, what a good kick. Right in front of you, Ricky.
Hang on, I'm going to give them that wall just a sec.
What a game. McGovern. Curtis, flat ball. Gee, they're only just holding on to some of those passes. Steinmetz, we've hardly seen anything of her. A little bit in the first half as she gets it back safely. Oh, again on the fingertips. Gee, it had her fingerprints on that, only just. So advantage for Canterbury, and they're just over halfway. Rule puts her head down, shrugs off a couple of tackles and goes to the deck eventually. Big loopy pass. Ponsonby and Curtis ducks in field this time and loses the ball, and it'll go back for the advantage.
Canterbury here looks to just getting a roll on here. Interesting to see what they will do here.
Number 16, ladies, offside in the back line. Number 16, never got back.
The sun popping out again. And Amy Rule comes back. See that Canterbury line, good boot. So the team route here at Rugby Park. Someone just went down to the deck.
What's our problem here? What's our problem?
Just went straight down off the ball.
I think someone's pinged a calf,
Yes.
and it may be China Hohepa.
There was nowhere around her. She just dropped.
Look, someone from the grassy knolls got her.
Yeah, it was a ghost. Crikey, 1 minute she was up on her feet, next minute she was just prone on the ground.
I've got a Canterbury player down as well.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, her work ethic this whole entire game, she has been in everything. So I mean, if it's a
Yeah, you can. We've got another one down here.
Oh, it's
I'm sure if the
Achilles,
body's.
isn't it?
Yeah.
We need a sub here for 3 red.
That's always worrisome too if a player goes down. Not too many people around. And the Achilles, we can also tell Amy Rule is done now. She will come to the sideline, so that means Pit Love goes back out.
Well, I'm not surprised about that.
She's telling the crowd she's okay. I don't think she's in too great a shape though. Amy Rule got a bit of a smile on her face. It has been one heck of an effort up against the Black Ferns prop Tukanatua. But Amy Rule, she's not feeling particularly well.
All right. All set for a shortened line out.
Time on.
Ponsonby finds the tall limbs of Nellis. McGovern is a little show and go, and again the gang tackling, who may have secured it.
Advantage, no clear release.
Gabby Sutherland might have been pinged in. Nellis puts her head down and gains a couple of metres. Rumbles the ball forward. They are still outside their 22. Brooker. Greenslade offloads it to Lola here, who uses the right arm and just fends a couple of players off, makes very important metres. Bremner. Again, look at that tackling. Oh, and again, they wrestle the ball out of the hands, but they come back, long advantage.
One of those difficult games to get your wingers involved, but Martha Lulu here, the young Tongan Dahine, she's a try-scoring machine.
Ladies, no clear release.
always manages to beat her first defender. That's what makes her really, she adds value to her back line.
I think they need to get it to her and get it to her early, or get her in closer to the action, Vania, because she's been the one that's looked the most dangerous for Canterbury this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Totally correct. She's looked the most likely going forward. She's shown that aggression, fending off the tacklers, making meters. Oh, again, a little bobble, a high pass into McGovern. And they do get it. As Coxedge tries to get a couple of players out of the way. This time, Nellis weaves one way, goes the other, puts the head down. Gapper finds Brooker. Trips over, goes and takes the ball to deck. Love gets monstered by Kennedy Simon. What a tackle. Oh my goodness me, and they've got the turnover as well. Wow, Kennedy Simon, that is just brilliant.
And I'll be getting in there and giving her a hug too. That was a critical moment, and she's turned the game around, and we talked about those moments. Their coach talked about being patient, their support work. Here we look, oh, that's just number, I don't know actually, she's been in it all day.
Well, you heard James Semple right at the beginning of the match say that his loose forward trio are not the biggest players in the business, but by gee, they make up for it in attitude.
Well, picked by the astute brain of Honey Hedemi Smiler as our player of the match in the semi-final last week, Kennedy Simon. I was on the plane down with the Black Ferns coach, Glenn Moore, and he said she has been playing very, very well for Test Blackfern, Kennedy Simon. And that could be the sort of hit that wins you a final in the final few moments.
Oh, again, just happy just to take the ball, rumble the ball forward, just outside the halfway. Ali pops the ball up in the air and makes Brooker make the catch, and is brought down by Robbins, Letty and Ali, and this is a penalty for Canterbury. Taken quickly, lever is the call. Now who's going to play halfback? Alana Bremner. Greenslade out on this left-hand side of Rugby Park. Just 4 and a bit minutes left in this Farah Palmer Cup final. Nellis gets through the middle. We have not seen many busts of any tackles. And Steinmetz gives it to Curtis, who puts a head down up over the 22. Waikato player prone on the deck. As Canterbury go round and try and find that chink. Brooker is forced backwards. Just on the 22. Gaffer again, shows and goes. So brave, trying to get through Coxedge to Steinmetz, who puts her head down. But she's confronted by 2. Wasn't held, and she was held, says referee Marnie.
She's held on the ground. She's clearly brought to the ground on her knee.
Well, again, just highlights the tackling technique from Waikato and never giving up.
You see Chassie Ali, they're really busting to make sure she gets there. She knows what danger Steinmetz is able to give, but Emily Hitter, she has been in everything again. We talked about these loosies earlier. I think I'm repeating myself always because they're always in everything. And Emily Hitter, I'm not surprised that she's probably cramping up, throwing her body around.
Oh, there's just so much admiration for how Waikato have brought their game plan. Whether or not it's their game plan, they've reacted to what Canterbury have put on them, and they have tackled their hearts out. They have played for their lives.
Well, there's going to be some changes coming for Waikato. What a time to come into a match. Leonie Klopper's coming on in 19. That'll be for China Hohepa. She was the player down in back plate earlier on. And also another change as well. Experienced player to bring on is Makai Ariki Te Kanua, and that'll be for Ariana Baylor. So I would have a suggestion that perhaps Renee Holmes will go into halfback here for Waikato in these final few moments. We'll just see how they line up.
Right down, and not a good time to have a missed throw. Was this their last chance for Canterbury to string something together? They have come up against a fortress of defenders, have Canterbury today. Committed, absolutely played for each other. All the wily experience of players like Tokanatua, Grace Holpapa-Barrett. What a contribution from Tanya Kalunavale. And that loose trio, Ashley Gabby Sutherland, Emma Lee Heta, Kennedy Simon has been sensational.
Just looking at this opportunity here for Canterbury, they've got Martha Lolo here right in behind Gappa. We talked about trying to get the ball to her here. I think this is the opportunity right now for Canterbury to really spark something up.
Ball being pushed back, it's been grabbed, and it's a penalty. And Coxedge takes it. No, she wanted to take it behind where it happened.
Oh, Kendra's not happy about that.
In the middle of a scrum. The mark's always at number 8's feet from a scrum. Mark's here.
She's had a lot to deal with today, Rebecca Marnie, hasn't she? A couple of chatty players, a lot of penalties in this match.
She's done well. Not easy, is it? A final played in hot conditions where the desire from both teams is extreme. Competitiveness personified. Wouldn't expect anything else. Ponsonby to throw for Canterbury. And it's been secured by Waikato. They were ready and spontaneously reacted. Canterbury trying to take it quickly. They have got just 40 seconds to keep the ball, Waikato, and create some history for themselves. One final they've played in 2014. Only one match in 2019. And again, Coxedge gets it wide to Brooker, who runs through, urged on by the big crowd. Again, that urgency. Players outside McGovern, should she have given it?
Stay.
Jenkins is in there playing a full game. Hovering around the who to goes. Pick and go, which they executed so well last week, did Canterbury against Auckland. We were waiting for the thrilling backs to show us what they've got. Instead, it's been the forwards. Out to Lola here. Can she put the step on? And great tackle again. And she's over the ball. Is she, the Waikato players? Chelsea Bremer tries to go straight forward and bump her way through. This time, Ponsonby is turned in the tackle. Nellis, has she got the ball over? Yes, she has! Oh my goodness me! Oh, it's heartbreak for Waikato, is it? And the game is over. The bench from the Canterbury team has run onto the field. And oh, what a finish! Vania Wolfram, what are you saying?
I'm jumping up and down. What a way to finish the game. Let's take it right back to Kendra Coxedge. She asked for the ball. She actually demanded the ball. She was a quick tap, but she actually missed all the forwards in between her and found Grace Brooker that was hanging out wide. Well, talk about heartbreak for Waikato, but Cindy Nellis secured the win. What an athlete, what a team.
Well, she might have been feeling a bit bad, Cindy Nellis, about the penalty earlier in the match, which saw Waikato score, but she has come back. And Coxedge will attempt the conversion, and hugs all round. Oh, what an 80-minute game. You heard it from Melissa Rusco, the assistant Canterbury coach, Lola here, who's been great all day for Canterbury. They were over that ball so quickly. And Nellis, right on the 82nd minute of the final. And Coxedge hits the upright. Why not? We've had everything, absolutely everything. And that is the end of the match. The Farah Palmer Cup 2020 will stay with Canterbury 8-7 over the mighty Waikato. Oh, Chelsea Alley. Oh, abject disappointment after they had worked so hard, Vania Wolfgram. But it is about playing to the last minute. They believed Canterbury did. Ariana Baylor, Renee Holmes, and Cindy Nellis gets the congratulatory hugs. But boy, did they have to work hard. What a match, what a final. I don't think we'll ever forget this.
No, too right. And you know, just again, Kendra Coxedge able to see that space and her vision of the game, the whole. She's been playing real patient, really pushing the line, challenging everybody. Look at the smiles on their faces there. Who was there in the middle?
Well, there have not been many gaps for any of the Canterbury players to get through, but they found one when it counts. But we will be back very shortly with the presentation. It is Canterbury who win their 4th title in successive years, and they have beaten Waikato 8-7. Well, what a game. And it took until the 81st minute and the hooter had gone, and Canterbury were behind 3 consecutive national championship titles on the line until that happened for Canterbury, and heartbreak for Waikato, who had been so inspirational with their tackling, their defensive game. It was just uncompromising all match. But Canterbury take the Farah Palmer Cup 2020 by 8-7. 1 try apiece as the players exchange. Let's go down to the presentation and Ricky Swinell.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a final it was. How much do we love the Farah Palmer Cup and the effort of both teams, Canterbury and Waikato. As we begin the presentation, I'd like to welcome our dignitaries from Mitre 10 Mega in Rangiora, Alan McIntyre. The Chairman of Canterbury Rugby, Pete Winchester, is here. Acting CEO of Waikato Rugby, Carl Moon, and of course the woman who this competition is named for, Dr. Farah Palmer. I'd also like to acknowledge Kate Sexton, New Zealand Rugby's head of women's rugby, who's here this afternoon, and Katie Sadlier, GM of women's rugby for World Rugby, also here enjoying this incredible final. Well, it was something else, and without them it doesn't happen. So if we can please also thank our match officials and ask them to come up to receive their medals from Farah. The referee, Rebecca Marnie. Assistant referee, Lauren Jenner. Assistant referee, Maggie Cogaor. And the TMO, Lee Jeffrey. I think we can agree they had a bit of work to do today, this group, and a great job they did as well. Well, I'm sure they can scarcely believe it. Waikato threw everything at Canterbury in this final. I'd like to ask their captain, Chelsea Alley, to come over. Well, Chelsea, I know this is a really tough interview to have to do. Can you sum up the feeling over there in your group at the moment after being within inches?
It's tough, I'll be really honest. There's a lot of belief in our team, and yeah, we gave it all, as you can see. Canterbury are a bloody classy side, so yeah, they need to be really proud, but I'm just so proud of my girls for the season we've had. And we're not broken yet. We'll be back next year, bigger and better than ever, ready to go again. So,
the turnaround from last year, where you won 1 game, to be here in this final and so close to winning it, what does it say about your group of players, your management staff, and everybody involved in this Waikato women's team?
Look, our culture and our team is unreal. Like, we got each other's backs from the management, our players, the girls that didn't get to come down here today, our supporters back home. We carry everyone with us, and although we didn't quite get the job done today, we know that everyone back home will be proud of us. And yeah, like I said, we'll regroup and we'll put in the work in the off-season and be back again.
Well, look, I won't make you stand up here and be too long. We'll bring up your team and to receive their medals as we go. So if I can ask the Waikato players to come forward as I call out their name, obviously the captain here, Chelsea Alley, to receive her medal as well. Toka Natua, Grace Hopapa Barrett, Tanya Kulunavale, China Hohepa, Mia Anderson, Ashley Gabby Sutherland, Emily Hetta, Kennedy Simon, Ariana Baylor, Tanika Willison, Stacey Flula, Carla Hohepa, Shael Robbins-Riti, Renee Holmes, Merania Parauni, Stephanie Lualua, Esther Tilo Faionga, Leomi Kloppers, Sina Hettit, Micaiah Rikitikanua, and Kelsey Tinetti. What a wonderful performance in the final by these Waikato women and their management team as well. The coach, James Semple, bringing them through to the final for the first time since 2014. Cody Price, Nigel Kewish, Nick Marquette, Thomas Galdames, Huia Harding, Andrew Walker, and Wayne Maxwell, who's overseen this campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, the Waikato women, I'm sure they deserve another rich round of applause. You have to love too the respect and camaraderie between these sides, the way this competition has been run this year through COVID crises, bubbles and all of that, and these women have given their absolute all for both of their unions today. Well, you came out in force once again, Christchurch, to see your women in action, and they've done it for you. They made you wait 81 minutes for that final moment. Let's bring forward the Canterbury captain, Alana Bremner. Well, Alana, can you scarcely believe that you're standing here 4 in a row?
Yes, so proud of the girls. First of all, I'd like to thank the crowd so much. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Each week we hear you and we feel you, and you guys have got us through those last couple of weeks, those hard games. So thank you very much.
It looked at one point it was going to be a game of missed opportunity, but somehow, some way you found the way. How did you get there?
I just think all the girls just believed, you know, we had each other's back all the way to the final 80. But massive credit to Waikato. You guys have come so far this year, both coming up against each other unbeaten. We knew it was going to be a tough game and definitely the hardest game of the season. So well done, girls.
The state of this competition and the way that has improved, you've been here through these title runs in the past. Where does this one stack up this year?
Yeah, it was a challenging year, obviously, for everyone, but we were just so grateful to have rugby. You know, it's been such a competitive Farah Palmer Cup competition. It's been probably the strongest one yet. So, yeah, just so happy to be out here playing rugby, and I'm sure the rest of the teams can say that as well.
Well, congratulations. We'll bring up the champion Canterbury team once more, the captain, Alana Bremner. I'll get the right piece of paper as well and then we'll be away. Let's start at the front. Pip Love, fractured finger and all. Rebecca Todd, Amy Rule, Chelsea Bremner, Cindy Nellis, Alana Bremner, we've just seen her, Lucy Jenkins, Lucy Anderson, Kendra Coxedge, Te Rawariwa Gapa, Sam Curtis, Liv McGovern, Grace Brooker, Martha Lolohia, Grace Steinmetz, Trina Greenslade, Georgia Ponsonby, Angie Sisifa, Esther Savilio, Sophie O'Kane, Isabella Waterman and Olivia Cody. The management team for Canterbury, I think they might have changed outfits again. I think Dumbledore's left. Claire Baxter, Whitney Hanson, Melissa Rusco, Rebecca Archibald, Jen Croker, Amanda Murphy, and Grace Lang. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's just one more thing left to do. They're inching closer and closer to this table, the Canterbury women, as we wait for the last one to go. And now the one final act, I will ask Dr. Farah Palmer to hand over this trophy to Alana Bremner. And for the 4th straight year, Canterbury are the Farah Palmer Cup champions.
Well, they are so happy. It took 81 minutes, but Canterbury have secured their 4th consecutive Farah Palmer Cup title and staved off the Waikato efforts. They've won by 8-7. Stay with us. We'll have more reaction after the break. Well, Canterbury just performing their waiata, celebrating their 8-7 win over Waikato. Fitting that they should have the youngsters in front as well, the future. Great to see Stefo Tio Heidi Fox in there as well. So let's go down to Ricky's Fennell. She has got world-class Kendra Coxedge with her.
Thanks, Leslie. Well, Kendra, you've been in some matches in your time, but how do you summarise this one?
Far out, it was tough. When I was out there, I was thinking, my God, I think this might be one of the toughest games I've actually been a part of in my whole career. You know, I've played in World Cup finals, but credit to Waikato, they played outstanding. You know, we made some mistakes in that first half, and, you know, credit to them in the second half, they came at us. But, yeah, we're pretty proud of to fight to the death in the end there.
Did you think it was gone?
I never think it's gone. We know this Canterbury team's an 80-minute team, and we put that out there. We even considered thinking about a 100-minute team, so we're well ready for it.
You're going to enjoy some celebrations tonight, I guess.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing some celebrations. It's a 4-peat, you know, you've got to celebrate your success, and the girls have had an awesome season.
Well, congratulations on a great final, a heck of a season, and a wonderful win. Thanks, Kendra.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Cheers.
Yes, indeed. Wow, best ever team. So 8-7. Thanks so much for joining us, and to all the Sky production team here at Rugby. And another win for Canterbury, 8-7 over Waikato.